Welcome to the party, or welcome back to the party. I'm Greta Poole and this is my YouTube channel. And today we're having episode 2 of Book Talk, more specifically Christian Book Talk. And today we're going to talk about some of the most recent faith-based books I have read. So let's get into it. First up we have Live by Sadie Robertson. And I want to start by saying how I love how this book is set up. Just the color scheme in general, like with the pink and like light blues on some of the words. And then I really like how there's photos on some of the pages that also go with the color scheme. It just looks really well put together. And do not mind the random Uno cards. I use it to mark my places to talk about specific things. This book discusses how we were created for a purpose and how our words hold meaning, that we should be careful with what we say to other people. It shows a model for how we are to live as Christians. One of my favorite excerpts from this is on page X. There's another Uno card. This one's tomato. Anyway, so on page X, which is like one of the first pages, but I like marked it while I was reading it, so I must have really liked it. It says, "We're all in this together, people. Each one of us created in the image of God, marked with a purpose, designed with a plan, with gifts and talents that no one else has. We are each known intimately and loved immeasurably by the creator of the universe. If you don't think your life is remarkable, I pray that, as you read this book, you will think again." I just really like that. I love this because it further pushes the truth that God made us for a purpose, and He gave us different gifts to adhere to that purpose. Sadie also wrote song lyrics that I really like on pages 12 and 13. I'm guessing that's where the first Uno card fell out of. So these are the song lyrics, and I highlighted this one part and it says, "I feel so free to know I'm known." And I just really like that. I think that is so true. And it's so sweet because like, it does feel good to be known by God, and that you know that you have a relationship with Him. I hope you love this book, and I hope you will give it a read because I enjoyed every minute of this. Next up, we have Kind is the New Classy by Candace Cameron Bure. I did not know how to pronounce her last name for the longest time. I thought it was like Muir or something, but I think her husband's Russian. So, I don't know. It's an interesting last name. In this book, Candace identifies the struggle of being a conservative Christian in Hollywood. She explains how to stay true to her faith and gives tips on how to stay classy and live graciously. She explains how being kind and showing the love of God can bring people to Him. Candace also gives helpful advice in the Your Turn sections, like this one, where it'll give you like a little scenario and then it'll tell you steps to take. Like this one is about when you get into like an angry or like heated discussion or an argument with someone and you need to just like cool down. So it's like, take deep breaths, take a beat, switch roles, pray first, and then ask for what you want. And it's just like a good way to help you diffuse a bad situation. And there's other ones too that show more like faith-based methods. Like, yeah, that one has praying in it, but then there's other ones where it's specifically like, okay, here, you need to turn to God. I really like the part where she comes up with the acronym HALT, H-A-L-T, page 135. And it says like steps to respond kindly to people, because oftentimes we struggle with certain things in like the HALT acronym where it's like hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And Candace says that, oh, you shouldn't be responding like in a negative way, and that we should respond in like a Christ-like way, if you know what I mean. This book really comes in handy when you're trying to learn how to deal with self-control, which is one of the fruits of the Spirit, and that a lot of us have to work on. So this is a really good read for when you need help with that. Next up, we have The Case for Faith. And as y'all may remember, in my last video for Book Talk, I reviewed The Case for Christ, which is my favorite book. Let me just tell you that this one is as good, if not better. I love these books and I love these Struggle. If you can tell, I definitely got some read out of this book. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but like the plastic on the front is peeling off. I did also take it to the beach. So, I don't know, the beach air wasn't good to this. In the book, Strobel identifies the main arguments against Christianity and debunks them. If you're into theology, this is definitely a great book for you. Strobel gives evidence for many of the events that took place in the Bible that many people may claim as false. One of my favorite chapters is chapter 2, where Strobel discusses miracles. Atheistic view is that since science cannot explain how miracles happen, that they must not be real, but the truth is that God cannot be confined by these rules, and that miracles lie outside of science. This is it right here. I think he gives great evidence and really ties it up well. So again, if you're obsessed with theology, go get yourself one of these. Or like read all of them, because I want to read The Case for the Creator, The Case for Grace I think is another one. I just want to read all of his books. They're so good. Last but not least, we have Go the Distance by Ed Rowell. I just finished this like 10 minutes ago. I actually picked this book up when I was visiting a church in my college town, and they just happened to be getting rid of books from their library, as a lot of churches do. I went and picked it up, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. So brought it home, read it. It was good. It was really good. And this book is very similar to one I had just finished for my intro to business class called Habitudes, which is habits and attitudes that can like help you in business and stuff. And this one is 21 habits and attitudes for winning at life. So it was very similar, and there were some similar stories in it. Well, okay, so the first one, Habitudes, was a little bit faith-based, considering I go to a Christian college. And then this one was intensely faith-based, which I thought was really good. I definitely enjoyed this one. And right when you open it up, you can see a note from the author. It's a signed copy, which is kind of cool. And he says, run with perseverance and purpose. And then he signed it, and then he also put a little Bible verse, which is Hebrews 12:1, which I'll put on the screen somewhere. And for every chapter, there's like a Bible verse or a quote that starts it out with kind of giving you an idea of what the chapter is going to be about and how it connects to the Bible verse. Rowell also uses Bible stories or parables that can help you better understand like your actions or how you should be acting, like more Christ-like and stuff like that, or just ways to persevere. Basically, that's the entirety of the book, like how to persevere. And I really like this one parable on page 51. I'll just tell you what it says. So it says, Dr. Shelley tells a parable about a farmer whose old dog fell into a dry well. After assessing the situation, the farmer sympathized with the dog, but decided that neither the dog nor the well was worth the trouble saving. Instead, he planned to bury the old dog in the well and put him out of his misery. When the farmer began shoveling, initially the old dog panicked, but then it dawned on the mutt that every time a shovel load of dirt landed on his back, he could shake it off and step up. This he did blow after blow. Shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. He repeated to encourage himself. It wasn't long before the dog, battered and exhausted, stepped triumphantly out of that well. What he thought would bury himself actually benefited him. All because of the way he handled his adversity. And I really just think that's interesting, because oftentimes we get buried and stuff, and we don't even think like, oh, we can just break out of this. This story really stuck out to me because I had heard it before, but it is also like so true. We can overcome any problem in our life as long as we keep persevering and as long as we know that God is with us and that he can help us through it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this book, but I recommend this one. It is really good. So yeah, that is all the books I have for you today, and expect another one of these videos soon because I put like 1 million theological books on my wish list for Christmas. That is all I have for y'all today. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want to see another one of these videos, because I do enjoy doing them and it gives me like an incentive to read more books. I love reading, but I haven't had a lot of time, so I just think it's really good to somewhat force myself to read sometimes. But if y'all have any book recommendations, leave them down in the comments and I will check them out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.